tell me a little bit about the details I should know. I mean, it happened in 2007, so what are we looking at roughly? How many
18
years
years.
since? Okay,
Sorry.
roughly,
Yeah,
roughly
18
20.
years since she
Okay.
was killed. Hmm.
All right. So I mean, just tell me a little, run me back. I mean, how old were you and what was that day like possibly for you? And I'm gonna take some notes here while we talk, so don't think I'm not paying attention.
Okay. Okay. Um, I was 16 when she was murdered. Um, I mean, a kid, in my opinion, at that time. And obviously, the first reaction was kind of, it's just shock. It doesn't really make sense. Um, don't know how to process it. Didn't really know what I was being told. Um, and just very unexpected. It was like a Friday after school, and I was sitting on the porch at my grandparents' house, just like ready for the weekend and things like that. And then, in a matter of minutes, like my entire world just changed.
And maybe when was the last time maybe you spoke to her? What was that week like? Maybe I don't know if y'all lived together or things like that.
Yeah, we didn't live together. I live in West Texas, and at the time she was in Winsboro, um, living with her mom. Um, so we spoke pretty frequently on the phone, um, pretty much all the time. That day, I was actually like planned to call her like we usually did, and I just hadn't yet. Um, so at this point, I don't, I can't recall when the last time that I spoke to her, but the last time I saw her was the summer before. She came down for my 16th birthday, came down here and spent the weekend here, and we just drove around, had my birthday party. So that was the last time I saw her in person. Um, I At this point I can't even remember the last time I talked to her on the phone, but I knew it would have been like shortly before this happened.
And just because I mean, I've worked a lot of like missing cases before, so this is my first time ever kind of working on something that's like a cold case where someone was their life was taken, and
Mhm.
it's just so this is kind of new to me. But I mean, what do you understand of the situation that happened? Maybe detectives telling you, your parents telling you, and I know your her mom Patrice shared some of the documents with me, and I was kind of just reading them before I was talking to you. So I
Mhm.
mean, just tell me a little bit of what you understand happened that day.
So I don't I don't ever recall like how I found out the truth when I was first told. um my stepdad just kind of said, your sister, Brittany's dead. And didn't really know how at that point or what had happened. Um so at some point I figured out what had actually happened, and we're told that she had been murdered. Um at that time it wasn't really completely clear at the beginning as to what exactly happened. Um of course, that's kind of all, a blur and pretty traumatic, but eventually the we were given the cause of death was blunt force trauma to her head. Um Investigators in the beginning told us like it was a T-shaped weapon, and but there was no weapon found. Um that she was already deceased when her boyfriend and his family had returned to the home. Um, so when authorities were called, she'd already passed. Um, I mean, law enforcement didn't completely. I mean, in the beginning, not very, open with everything. It's very active investigation, but pretty soon. There was, of course, people of interest that they were kind of looking at. Um, in the beginning, we were kind of told like, we're going to do DNA, and it should come back, in a month, and then months turned into week or years, and it just, ongoing process. Um, so we had our theories of it really wasn't what had happened to her, it was who did it. Um, and of course now, 18 years later, um, we're still at the who did it part. What happened to her never was really up for discussion, or anything like that. We know how she died, and it was just like, why was she there, and who did this.
And just, I mean, I know the family, and just like I was talking to some, so my girlfriend's from Wood County, and just like they have all heard about this case, and like they all brought up Chad Carr and things like that. So like, can you just share with me? I mean, this is a big case in a small area like this. I mean, people all know about it. People who are from the
Yeah.
area, and just share with me what, you know, at least your stance with Chad Carr. I know at this point he's hasn't been found guilty. He went to trial, things like that. Just share that with me.
Yeah, I mean, since the beginning, that's who, mostly everyone theorized was a likely suspect. Um, I will say over the last, let's see, he was, so when he after he had been arrested back in 2022, and then was released, um, of course, we were super upset. But in the last couple of years, um, my theory and opinion has kind of changed. And that's not to say that I mean, with how it is right now, anyone is still a suspect, because nobody can be completely X'd out. And there's like one or two names that have been brought up over the years as, possibilities. Those have been, checked out and not relevant. Um, but at this point, I'm not 100% completely sold on it being Chad, and I don't, whether he knows something, um, whether he doesn't, whether he did it or didn't. I'm not willing to completely count him out, but I do think there could be other people to be looked at a little bit closer or re-examined, in my opinion. Um, that's where I personally stand with Chad.
Just, I mean, where do you understand that the investigation is at this point? I mean, it's just so far down the line. I doubt that there's any new details. I mean, there's still just a lot of waiting. I mean, what is the family, I guess, doing at this point? Where do they understand?
So really, I would say that we're in a worse position than we were in 2007, but also, we have a sheriff who's in office now who's been the most cooperative with us and communicates with us. So, um, that part is better since 2007, because previous administrations have been completely closed off to us, um, uncooperative, ugly to us. So that's a positive that Kelly's in office, because he's actually done way more than anyone else has. Um, I think the position that we're in currently is in the beginning of the investigation. I think things were mishandled. I think things were, I think people were saying they were doing things when they really weren't. Um, and I think it was just so mishandled that now what Sheriff Cole has to deal with is what he was given in the beginning. Um, so there's not, I mean, as far as DNA goes or anything like that, up to this point, there's been no matches to anything. The Attorney General's office was involved with helping us probably from like 2008 until maybe like 2018, or maybe it's been a few years since they kind of went away. The main investigator that I talked with the Attorney General's office kind of sent us an email and was like, we're basically done, and she's moving off to a different position. So they're not, from my understanding, they're not even assisting or anything. And their job would have been to prosecute the case if there had been an arrest and a trial. Um, so uh really at this point, if anything new was to come up, or there's always like advanced DNA testing, or that Kelly's open to trying and things like that. um I think without someone coming forward, or just some huge like uh magic thing happening, I don't really know what the future holds right now for her case.
Um, and just to that point, I mean, just I understand that can be frustrating. I mean, this is, your family member, your sister, someone's daughter, and just a lot of questions, no answers, right? I mean, it seems like it's one of those scenarios. Just, I mean, how does that, you guys aren't able to like move past this until it feels like something is close.
Yeah, I mean, speaking for myself, I was so young when it happened, and I've spent at this point more of my life without her than I did with her. And that is something difficult for me to wrap my head around, and makes it difficult for me to live my life normally, I guess. This kind of taints everything, and is really hard for myself to move past without anyone being held accountable for it. I mean, it for me, it's like an imbalance in the universe. Like it's not fair when it happens to anyone, but it's I mean, we you had this happen to I had this happen to someone that I deeply cared about, and no one's got in trouble for it. No one has been held accountable for it. So it creates an imbalance in my life and in my world, where I'm trying to juggle surviving and living life as normally as I can, but having this huge weight that I carry that no one sees, and trying to be normal and just go day by day. So I do what I can, whether it's online and social media, or um, we got to national TV. Um, that's that's all I can do, and that's what I'm continuing to do, because I can't just sit here and not try. I can't live my life like that.
Thank you for sharing that. And I'm sorry. It sounds like, yeah, I can imagine that's just a lot to have to live with and deal with every day. But I guess that kind of goes to my next thing. And like, sounds like a dumb question, but I mean, like, do you guys like ever imagine that this will get going to be solved, or ever understand that they'll finally find someone to prosecute? And I think I had like a second part of that question, but first part, I mean, do you guys think that this will ever be solved, and like a way for you guys to actually be able to move on and move forward? I mean, yeah.
Yeah. I, I can't say that I'm hopeful for that, because we've done so many years of waiting, and being patient and doing what law enforcement told us to do and not speaking about it and playing our cards right. We've done that, and in my opinion, we are in a worse spot now than we were in 2007 or 2008, um because we had an arrest, and then that didn't go the way we thought it was going to go. And we have law enforcement or district attorney's office who don't seem willing to help us get to that point. So we're pretty powerless. We can't do their job. We can't make an arrest. We can't take a case to trial. We can't prosecute it. So we have to rely on them to do their part, but they're not coming through for us, or they haven't come through for us. So it is hard for me at this point, because we're in a worse position than we've ever been. It's hard for me to see any kind of solution or into this. I mean, I the little hope I do have, I hope that happens, but it's hard for me to see right now.
And you kind of talked about it there maybe a couple times already, but I mean, what do you want to see in the future? I mean, whenever it comes to the DA's office, and tell me a little bit about the struggles that you're having with them. And like I said, I know you might have touched on that just a tad.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand their unwillingness to communicate with us. I don't understand why their office doesn't want to help. I mean, their role is to prosecute the case and send it to trial, and it's not to solve the crime, but there's been a lack of cooperation between the sheriff's office and the DA's office that I think has caused this standstill where politics is kind of in the way, or and they're I don't we're kind of the middleman. So the treatment that we have received from the district attorney's office, I don't understand why. I don't know, because all that we're doing and have tried to do is to get them to care about her case, to try to communicate with us. I mean, when Chad was released, no one called us. We didn't know. I mean, the sheriff did, um, but no one called us from the DA's office. No one like even tried to reach out. We ended up trying to reach out to them, and I do not understand that part of because yeah, we've called them out on social media, but it's because we're at this point where, like, you're not communicating with us. You're not helping us out. You don't seem willing to help us out. Then we're going to go to, I mean, social media has been pretty powerful for not only this case, but other cases. So that's the tool that I'm going to use to bring awareness, because so many years we've sat by and we've been patient and we've done what they've told us. Don't talk about all this, any of the details. We've done all that. We have done our part. They have not, in my opinion, done their part. So I don't understand why they are treating us like we are. I don't understand that treatment towards us.
I mean, what would it mean for you guys to actually? I mean, once again, this is a very kind of basic question, but I mean, like, what would it mean for you guys to kind of just be able to find who did this? I mean, what kind of closure would this bring for family?
It's hard to say, because I had imagined that day for so long, and then when I thought it came, when there was an arrest and that went the way it did, I was just like, uh, I don't know that that day's ever going to come. I don't know that if someone, we obviously want the right person to be arrested. We want that to be correct. I don't know, for me, I don't know if it would change anything. I don't know that I would feel better. I don't know. There's been so many years, and just the injustice of it all is something that's really hard for me to wrap my head around. So if that day was to come, I really don't know how I would feel. I don't know if it would make me feel better. I mean, a part of me wants, um, I don't want to use the word revenge because that has a bad, it sounds bad, but all these years of this mistreatment and this injustice, if we were to get an arrest, it doesn't erase all that. And it's made it it's made me feel that Brittany was not valuable, that her life wasn't valuable enough to for these people to do what they were supposed to do to bring justice to her murder, because that's what they're there to do, and they haven't done that. um so I don't know if that day was to come. I don't know if I would feel better. I really don't. It's just a lot of years of my life that have been taken in a way, and not sure how it's all I know. It really is all that I know. So I don't know how I would feel that day if that day came.
And you say that, you go onto social media. I mean, this case has brought national attention, local attention, of course, probably statewide. Just, when you go out there and share the message about, spreading awareness, I know you do it, maybe Patrice does it as well. What are you guys hoping for? I mean, just kind of what do you want people to know about her case?
I think the main thing is we want to let people know who Brittany was. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, in the universe, she was one person, but she was someone who was very valuable to her family, and who led her life in all the right ways, um, who was a complete innocent victim, and wanting people to know that no one has been held accountable for her murder, and that the system that's set up to help has not been helpful, and in a lot of ways has been more detrimental, not to us, not only to us, but to her case. Um, so just letting people know that this has happened and that it's still ongoing, and that she was important. I've got, I mean, yeah, since we got on the ID channel and that episode aired, like people from Serbia, people from Africa message me with like screenshots of me on the TV and the subtitles in their language, and it's wild that it's reached that far, that people across the world now know who Brittany was, and they care.
Uh, can you tell me about this is a 30-minute meeting, so or 40 minutes, but just about the scholarship that you made out in her honor.
Yeah, the scholarship is always something that I thought about doing. Um, Kind of when we go for like these long stretches of like nothing really happening with the case, or nothing, it is worth bringing up or anything like that. I try to do something or make a post or something. So the scholarship thing is something I'd always have in mind. I really didn't know how to do it. Like I reached out to Winsboro, the high school at one point, and asked, but I didn't get a response. So I found this website that sets it up for free. You just fund the scholarship. So I posted that, and people donated to the for the amount of their scholarship, and then um, I tailored it to maybe kids who have either experienced crime themselves or been a victim of crime, and then just being an artist, and music is something that Brittany and I shared a lot. Um, I tailored it towards kids that were either going into, wanting to do something with art or doing something with music. Um, so I think at this point, the last time I logged in, I've had like 550 essays that I've had to read, of people applying for the scholarship. So I've got to narrow it down quite a bit. Um, but it's cool. I mean, it's cool. I did send it to Winsboro. Like they have Facebook, so I DM'd them the link and, kind of wanted it to reach the school that she went to. But they didn't do anything with that. So um, that's also another way, especially to make younger kids, because there's been kids that have reached out to the page who live in like Mineola or that area who have never heard of Brittany's case, because they were either super young or not even born yet at this point. So I think that's the scholarship is also a cool way to like spread, or to spread awareness about her case as well.
And did Brittany go to Winsboro as well? Like, she went to Winsboro High School?
Yeah, she graduated in 2006 from Winsboro High.
And the day, I think you told me she was what? No, I have to look at my notes. 19? She was 19 whenever it all happened?
Yeah, 19.
I mean, that's like, what, basically fresh out of high school, a year after maybe, or.
It was the year after she graduated. I mean, almost exactly a year, mid May. I mean,
Mhm.
yep.
And, and just so I have like details, I mean, was she at her house or was she at a friend's house? I don't know if I was reading that on the.
Yeah, no, she was working two jobs. She had a day job and then an evening like night shift to early morning job. And she was getting off of her overnight shift and went to Jeff's house. He asked her to go over. Um, which that according to Patricia, her mom, was not a normal schedule of things. She would get off overnights, go home and sleep, but he asked her to go to the house. So it happened at him and his family's home.
That's interesting. And so in between, I guess shifts, maybe she said she had like a day and then like a overnight in the morning
Mhm.
shift, something like that. And then she
Yeah.
went like normally a normal routine would be for her to go home, get rest, maybe start her day again. But what you
Yep.
said is that this time, um, her friend Jeff asked her to stay over, which they weren't like together, right? Because I guess.
It was no, he was her boyfriend, but
Okay.
they were dating for like 7 months at that point, and it was a little off and on.
Mhm.
Um, so her mom might have a little bit better understanding than I do, but I think they were they were like in that process of like kind of making up. They had broken up, but they were trying to mend things.
Mhm.
Um, so Jeff asked her to go over to that house that day.
Um,